Hey everyone, this is Asia, and we are live here. uh, see if I can get this going here. So first of all, welcome, and so glad that you can tune in tonight. Some of you who have followed my page for a long time know that I have times where I just have a black screen, and that often is just indicative of just not being in a great place for recording. So I'm just going to go ahead and maintain that black screen, but that often also requires just that you guys get to close your eyes and listen, rather than feel like you need to watch the screen or do any other than go into a very internal space. So once again, I really welcome you, and just feel free to ask any questions if you have any questions. Right now, what I'm going to do is tune in and ask the angels to connect here in light and love, and to be here unconditionally. So the thought, therefore, is to continue to manifest in pure white light all of our intentions, all of our purposeful intentions towards clarity and peace and abundance. And as we do so, we're doing that together as a group. So we're becoming circular in a way. We're creating a circular network. And that network is not to be disregarded or downplayed in any way, because it is that network that creates a sense of abundance, a sense of prosperity. No matter what your financial situations are, there's a prosperity of heart. And in that prosperity of heart, there is this essence of being. It's really an essence of your being that helps to knit together communities or families, or going even larger, governments. Ultimately, those governments connect to an intention of this purpose of love, hopefully, ideally, or I should say idealistically, into a union. And this broadcast is a calling out for unity, for clarity, for purpose, for seeking a mission. So in love, then, let us begin this 11/11 day of your portal to the heart, this conversation. And may it be so that in this conversation, with your willingness to participate, you bring together these values of peace and compassion and connection. not just for one, but for all beings, all beings. And this is integrated as well into ideas of respect, commitment to a divine future, where outcomes, rather than being unpredictable, are built one block on top of the other, not with pretense or ego, like a know-it-all, but just with divine. What I hear the archangels saying is this divine affluence, like divine abundance. And that could mean, potentially, it could mean financial abundance, but it could also mean that your intent is to create a new earth that has the buoyancy of pure-heartedness or light-heartedness, clarity of thinking, as well as a disposition of truth, honesty, purpose. And with those elements, feeling grounded in a mission. That in and of itself can become a mission, in other words. Is that making sense to everyone? So, letting there be light and letting there be love in this precious moment, as our hearts are unified towards the divine, and towards love, bringing peace and tranquility to the earthly plane. Each one of your hearts is needed. Each one of your thoughts in this direction, your clarity, your wisdom, your experience, your knowledge. Each one of you is needed in order to heal, to develop a purpose. I don't know about where you were when 11:11 this morning struck, but I really felt all of your prayers, and without any further analysis of that, I just want to share my own experience with that, in that your prayers washed like a wave. I really felt it, and I don't know how any of you experienced it, but certainly interested in your comments below. And it did actually bring up some things for me that had to do with some of my own past relationship stuff, materials that emotionally need to be cleared still. And so for that I'm grateful. And my understanding from the archangel realm is that this whole week, as we go forward, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday through Friday, even into Saturday, are intensely powerful times to do more of that clearing work in preparation for a new consciousness on this planet. So the more work that any one of us do, everyone, it's just sort of this, like if you're in a family system and one person moves even just a small bit towards healing, then that little bit of movement can create less stress in your home environment. And certainly if you're in a work environment, the same could be true. It can be more difficult as you get into those outer parts of society. I'm hearing from the angels right now, because as you get out into other forms of society, people have other pressures, so they feel publicly open or vulnerable to being attacked or shamed or ridiculed, or the implications can be much greater and much deeper than in the home environment, where there may be tit-for-tat arguments or stresses related to living situations. But overall, there's not quite as much fear of disapproval in those environments. So it can be like, in some ways, Archangel Michael, I'm hearing now, is saying that it can be could be gut-wrenching at home sometimes, because it seems like people really can unload a lot of emotional baggage without so much of concern about long-term repercussions, whereas in the work world, there can be serious repercussions for that as well, in politics or other environments that are social, or where other people are watching with media, for instance. So please try to forgive those in your homes who may be acting impulsively or impetuously this week. They may feel, in some ways, glad to have a safe place to unload all of those emotional scars. On the other hand, the point, of course, is to try to maintain the overall vision for peace and peaceful outcomes. So then the question becomes, how does one clear all the emotionality without taking excess time for counseling, which can be expensive and time consuming, and it does take time and it takes due diligence. On the other hand, the point is that also you don't want to be a pressure cooker walking around, right, with trying to hold in every single emotion so that you don't cause upset or harm. So what is that divine balance, that sweet spot where you can have permission to exercise your right to your freedom of expression of whatever your emotional truth is, without an agenda or imposing that on others in your world, so that you're not, in other words, giving your chaos over to someone else and saying, here, you handle this and I'll go live a stress-free life. Because truthfully, it is each person's personal responsibility to deal with their own emotional center. It can be quite difficult. So in the human experience, we're going to just go ahead and ask the archangels now to come in and double up on a meditation here, because we know and understand that the emotional experience can be like somebody coming and rattling your cage, like you finally have some peace or understanding about yourself, and it may be the next thing you know, somebody has come along and tried to disrupt your peace or disrupt your harmony. And Archangel Michael's saying so now. So doing this meditation we're about to engage in. And again, forgive the black screen. It just so happens that I'm in a really poorly lit place. It's much easier just to become inward and just listen at this point, rather than worry about the camera work or the lack thereof. So just centering quietly for a few moments, Michael is going to lead a small prayer and meditation to create, for the onset of this 1111 portal, an intention that's based on a heart-centered melody. So just taking a moment to really feel feel yourself coming to the present moment. Taking a moment, even if you're in a place where you can take off or remove your shoes, just so that you can feel your feet connecting, whether you're indoors or outdoors, allowing yourself to feel comfortable and relaxed. Maybe it is for the first time today that you're feeling no pressure, no expectations. So as you understand that quality of existence, your body begins to relax. There's no expectations. So now just breathing in. Some of you may feel as if you're drawing in the first breath today that's your own oxygen. That you're not thinking about other people. You're being centered for yourself and your empowerment with clarity as your intention. Feeling the angels come in around you, circling you with great joy and unconditional support. Because Archangel Michael is saying that he has no confusion about his love for you, for each one of you. Literally, there's nothing, he's saying, there's nothing any of you could do to shake him free from his love and admiration of you. There's nothing, not one thing any of you could do that is so wrong or so bad that he would ever give up on you. So taking a deep breath in, feeling that breath center, move down into your solar plexus or your belly region. So rather than short, shallow breaths, you're beginning to feel oxygen move down through your whole thoracic area, feeling coolness. You might be feeling coolness in your limbs, in your arms, in your legs. Centering on the heart. Begin to feel light expansion from the heart center. And know that that is part of where the power of truth begins, Michael's saying. Now it's almost as if that truth is so powerful that it's like you could almost taste it. And just resting in your breath. Don't forget to breathe. So breathing deeply and broadly, allowing that oxygen to flow through your limbs, deep into your stomach region. And as it's moving and circling, you begin to feel fantastic again, like you've claimed even this small bit of memory of the who you are. The who you are now, not in the next lifetime or in a past lifetime. Just right now. And it's not that you want to shut out the voice of others, but if you begin to differentiate others' voices from this inner knowing, so if you're hearing voices from the day of people who have been critical of you or tried to create power games or dynamics, you can actually begin to rest knowing that you are new in every moment. Your creation is new, and how you interact with the world is how you create your world. It can be very difficult, and life can seem stifling sometimes. And the nervous system can have a track record of being a wreck, right? Like a nervous wreck. So, that can come from a broken heart. So if any time in your life has been spent in situations where you have felt brokenhearted, your nervous system might have a form of tenderness, like a wound that has not yet healed. So just right now, we're calling in all of the angels around. Archangel Uriel, Archangel Gabriel, Raphael, Metatron, Ariel, of course, Archangel Michael, our friend. Any other guides you may wish to call in. We're just asking all of the love of these angels to unconditionally bring peace to any woundedness. That may still be presenting itself. And rather than focusing on the others and who caused the wound or the woundedness, right now we're setting our intention towards the angels performing through our desire and our heart activation on this portal of 1111 with clarity for divine authority in our lives going forward. We pray and ask for our hearts, wherever there's still woundedness or brokenness, that those wounds be healed now, rather than associating blame towards another. Just ask for permission for all angels to surround you. As you seek comfort, know that this week will be a good week to flush out any of those wounds that need healing in order to set your intention towards a loving, kind future. And this may take several repetitions. It may take days or weeks. It might take months. But the importance is in being kind to yourselves. Kindness is the utmost importance. So, in other words, Michael's saying, rather than expecting miracles in one session over the phone, to just imagine the unconditional purity of divine light surrounding you. And this will help set the intention for the portal, 1111 portal going forward. So that is the prayer for this afternoon, this evening. And if anyone has any thoughts or questions, feel free to ask the angels while we're in this sacred moment or in their divine presence. Again, I apologize for the dark screen, but honestly, just using that as I hear Michael saying it's no need to apologize. It's intentional in the way that allows everyone to preserve all of your intention or attention for inner guidance and inner connection. As Archangel Michael is lifting now this veil of deception that was placed over so many from the time that in some cases, some people who will be listening to this were very young when deception became a mask, where it was hard to see clearly. So we're holding compassion for those individuals who may have succumbed to the masks of deception from early youth, and coming together again through one heart in devotion to that divine spirit, integrating through the portal, the 1111 portal, which works both ways. So we're both receiving and giving through the open portal or crystalline portal with the intention for pure divine light and a return to divine authority to each person. It's a promise. It's time now. So we're just holding space as this divine portal is luminescent. It's a vertical circle. It's holding space, connecting rhythms of the heart, of truth, clarity, your own internal wisdom, your strength. And the flow back and forth is with this divine counsel. And the divine counsel, Archangel Michael is saying, believe me, it is free. You don't have to become worthy of it. You are inheritors. You are inherently worthy. And you are worthy of so much more, he's saying. But to start from this spark of abundance that's created within your own heart, that is your divine choice. And you have the right to that ownership and that clarity. You have 100% permission and unconditional support of the angelic council to touch that center point right in the center of your divine heart, your divine self, and allow the floodgates of God's love to become integrated. It really is like a muscle. Do you see? It's sort of like through life's experiences. You're sort of Olympic divine athletes, co-conspirators of the heart, he's saying. Bringing together, fastening together, weaving together through ancient wisdom within the cells of your body with the divine. The nature, of course, speaks an intelligent language that when you're relaxed and realize your potential, every soul, every one person on this planet has access to. And that is the truth. So learning to trust your instincts, learning to be an embodiment of all that is love, and having that just be absolutely okay, even when others are blaming or ridiculing or attacking or shaming or pushing or prodding. You have the right to walk away, to regain your composure, to make apologies if needed. Today, when I was doing it was right before the 11/11 activation, and I was at work, and I have the work environment that I'm in is a bit toxic. Maybe some of you can relate to this. This is just a quick personal sharing. Part of my challenge is maintaining my composure in an environment where I'm being prodded into reactivity by several people around me. So I'm constantly trying to move those attacks and that energy into light and love and working with the angels. And today I was unable to maintain that groundedness. I think I was a bit exhausted from the last 3 days. It involved things that are unusual to me, like time travel and lucid dreaming, and I have always had some of those experiences, but there's definitely been an increase in that the last 3 days. And So I'm assimilating that while also having to go into my work environment. And my work environment I would describe as sort of ordinary in the sense that there are those who are kind of, it's a power structure or something, and people that work in tandem to keep others like myself kind of off to the side or peripheralized so that they get more of the good stuff and I get less of the good stuff and that kind of thing. So anyway, so I keep trying to continually let go and let God. Let go and let God. And just let it be what it is. Not this and the other. But today I actually reacted and which was embarrassing. And also not that great. It was pretty much showed me some things that I still have to work on in myself. And I didn't have to, but be honest, what I wanted to do is to apologize. So I apologized to the person that I had snapped at, and then also secondarily put on my, just like my grown-up hat, and spoke to the second in charge, the manager, second person, and told him directly what I had done and how that came to be, and that I was, it was unfortunate. And it was interesting today because, Archangel Michael and I are usually working together in tandem through all these situations. And it was one of those situations where uh, I had to be shown some things in myself that I'm still avoiding. And in order to create the future peace and the prosperity and the clarity that I would like, and that I deserve as much as everyone deserves those things, peace and prosperity and clarity. He helped to hold up a mirror and not to confuse things, but we are in this 11/11 week, and it's time for me to really be transparent and strong and clear and know that, yes, I have these connections with the angels. They are certainly with me every single day. And there's still times where my emotional field just jumps out ahead of me in a second, a split second, there it was. And what I wish I had known was how overwhelmed I'm feeling by assimilating all of these changes. And be honest, to let you know more just about my own process is that when that happens, then it's a wake-up call to me again, telling me that there's just more time and due diligence. And I've been on this path for over 30 years, working very, very, very much on difficult things in this lifetime, and not to mention past lifetimes. So sometimes it can be disillusioning, well, to have more to do, right? And so I'm just sharing that with the purpose of saying that even though I have all the ingredients necessary, I believe, to transmit and channel, like a pure channel, the angels' messages, that there are still things that I fall on my face. But being an adult and exercising my own muscle, becoming wise enough and having strength enough to know that no matter what, my angels have my back. And the transparency in this moment is to share with all of you, many of you, that there just might be an answer in all of us clearing away confusion by admitting some of our own faults and taking personal responsibility for just not having everything figured out yet. And there's nothing wrong with that. in order to heal. It might help things move along more quickly, in fact, if more families or work situations like that, if people could more easily step forward and say, yeah, I have definitely difficulties with that still in my life, or I don't know what you're going through, but we want you to be happy. So, I don't, maybe some family members don't feel like they have the patience to deal with all these things right now. So we can respect and admire their honesty for saying confession time, that they don't have the patience, and acknowledge that and say, okay, I understand that, and look for other ways to get our needs met. Now, each one of us are deserving of love. Michael's accentuating that in the moment right now. He's saying each one of us is dedicated. We would not be here on the planet at this time earning our stripes and our badges of honor and courage if we were not on this path towards the light. So number one, he wants to affirm all of our courage, all of it, each one of us, for being courageous beings of light, standing in our light regardless, even when it's uncomfortable. In times when we feel nervous about that, forgiving ourselves, asking the angels for support. The angels are here to be of service to each one of you, to myself as well, to all of us. The angels want to have extra work. They like their jobs. Yes, they are here to help each of you, and they don't mind at all. Some of you have had very high angels following you, bearing witness to your lives over long stretches of time. And you may have stories or memories that go along with that experience. And you may have been walking along and seen a feather fall from the sky one day, or found a book that was remarkable in the way that it answered a question that you had, or some other way that you have a divine witness who interjects in your life in surprising or miraculous ways. It's always good to say thank you when that happens, and always good to just make note and pay attention. So in this small group, it's a very small group on Facebook, given the largeness of our planet Earth, there's much gratitude that the angels have for your listening and holding counsel here as the 1111 portal opens. And if any of you have thoughts or concerns or prayers you'd like to send to loved ones, you can even put the initials of loved ones if you want to keep anonymity. And if we wrap up this evening, if there's no questions, then Archangel Michael is suggesting if you'd like to include just the initials of someone that you care about, that you would love for the angels to make an extra special visit to, you can just put those initials here down below. And all of the angels who have been called in this evening will lend extra support and light to that person. That may even be yourselves. You may just want to include your own initials there, or a pet, or someone you know who is ill or suffering in some way. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So we're just Michael's holding this beautiful blue light, this orb, and you can feel into your heart center those people that you would like to be blessed. There, and so Archangel Michael is sending melodies of music. I'm with my perception. I'm hearing the like a angelic choir. And so we're just saying, letting there be light, letting love come in to the space, allowing the heart to open, to expand naturally into its own natural rhythm, letting ego dissolve. So we don't want the ego to fragment again through brokenheartedness. So we're allowing those hearts to open, to receive the light, and then imagining them mending. Imagine the heart mending by the surrounding of the council of the white angelic light, pure unconditional love, coming down like a cloud, stabilizing that heart level. Allowing the groundedness to be real, feeling your own self, the presence of yourself, deep in the center, starting in the solar plexus, through the heart, through the limbs of your body, your legs and your arms, through the back of your head, through your ears and all of your senses, your eyes, ears, nose, vocal cords, up through the top of your head, allowing love, allowing your expression to be valid and authenticated on this 1111 portal. And do you feel it now washing away old wounds, old hurts, even voices or sounds of people who maybe have yelled at you in the past or called you names? Anyone who has fragmented your heart from when you were very young or a very youthful person, seeing that just move away from the light, being washed. So you're being surrounded by the pure white counsel of unconditional love, the archangels. Even feeling that through your hair follicles, all the way to the roots, Michael's saying, just all the way. Just feeling this clear abundance, truth, no fabrications, just the being who you are. And that voice within announcing, the voice within is announcing that you see and recognize as a witness. Look for small miracles in your lives, you guys, this week. And if you'd like to share those here and let us know. Otherwise, keep them private if you wish. Either way. This is a time of great potential and possibilities. So we are on the eastern seaboard of the United States, and this is a time around 6 o'clock p.m. So we'll be striking midnight here in about 5.5 hours or 6 hours, and when that transition happens, of course, there'll be different time zones for different people who are watching this page. So keep track of your own time zones. But there will be a wave or a new pattern that's moving across the surface of your earthly plane, Michael's saying. And that wave is the future. It is a future of love with less complexity. Because honestly, he's saying that this has been a time of great complication and great complexity. And one thing that will bring order to this new earth is more simplicity, more clarity, less ego, less agenda setting. It's very, in practical terms, is a very exciting time because there's less competition, there's less fear. More attitudes are about dreaming big together. In a way, it's going into a more youthful time in the sense that no matter what your age is, earthly in years, more youthful thinking, a more heart-centered time for more play, and less concern about prestige or privilege. And those things may be there, but there's not so much of a grabbing for it attitude or pushing others down attitude. This will be much simpler, much easier for people to have co-creative solutions, whether in business or in government or in families. Michael's saying this is going to be a much easier time for everyone involved. Much. So you become a witness, bearing witness to the change by becoming truthful within your own hearts about who you are. The more integrated or the more integrity, each one of you have, paralleled in proportion to how you are in the outside world, the ease with which life will flow. Some of these statements are paralleled in the Bible, in some of the prophecies and predictions. However, the stories, the parables that are told in the Bible, Michael's saying, are problematic in that man's own egoic intentions evolved in some ways with some of the biblical teachings. And so the guidance also that will come in this new consciousness will help ease the struggle and the conflict around that book, the Bible, that there'll be clarity over time. It may take a time. Instead of judgment, there will be purity of consciousness with that book. It'll be he's saying it's like a re-giving of that book to the world again. A re-gifting. But in this case, not by one, but by just it's like a rejuvenation of the heart. So now we're taking all of that energy, all of the love, and we're passing it on like good neighbors. If you can imagine good neighbors and friends, just passing doesn't have to be just by good thoughts, your intention, being kind, just a little bit kinder in traffic or at home or at work, just a little bit more kindness to help activate this 1111 portal. Just a little more patience, a great amount of self-compassion, Michael's saying. And you will have one your way through the ensuing 3 or 4 days. Just a little bit of an adjustment on everyone's part will help the whole system ease in the confusion and the stress. Does that make sense? So we're going to release this connection for now. Do feel free to reach out. I do personal sessions for people, though it's more rare these days. But if you would like any further counsel with the archangels, I do offer those. You just PM me here, and I do that also with this very wide-ranging sliding scale in order to make things very affordable for anyone who desires that service. So be gentle with yourselves, a little more compassionate with others, and that is enough to change the world, Michael's saying. So shall it be. And just thanking all of the angels for being here this evening. And we know they have a lot of work to do, so I thank all of you for joining in. And do let me know if you have any questions or any visions or thoughts. Always happy to communicate outside of the channel. And or also feel free to share your experiences or visions or viewpoints on the page as well. Okay. Thank you for joining in. Much love to all.